Yay.
Hey, I think we're live. I think we're live. Hey,
It's in
everybody.
6 months.
What's
Yeah,
up?
we're live. We're live.
We are live. Okay, you could tell we're out of practice. We did at one point know what we were doing when we were doing our live streams, but I am still the Dynabro Chopper Fett. You can call me Brett. To my right is a guy who used to be my bro. He's still my bro, kind of, but he's no
Yeah.
longer my Dyna bro. He's now my Electra bro, Mr. Fletch EGS. How you doing, buddy?
Fine, thank you. Fine, thank you. As always, it's all good, all good. And you can see we're both out of practice. And it's great to be back with my bro or brother from another mother, as always.
That is
Um,
right. So let's go ahead
yeah,
and say hey in the side chat. We got quite a few people sitting out there. We saw 508 Dyna chiming in earlier. We got Black Phoenix Entertainment, who, congratulations, brother, just hit 1,000 subscribers. That's awesome for him.
woo!
SJ Mud Turtle
Yay.
Cruises is here. Let's see here. Purple on 3. I understand that they might have talked to my dad about some certain boots, I think, earlier today.
Okay.
Bry the Biker, what's going on, guys? Goofy Bastard. Ty from Tennessee, welcome, welcome,
Welcome,
welcome.
one and all. Yeah, yeah. Welcome, one and all. Normally we would have a kind of a setup and then probably a topic to talk about, and it's just that we haven't been doing this for a while, and I thought that this would be great. Obviously, one of the reasons why we haven't been doing it is my fault. I'm to blame because
Yeah, we'll,
I'm
we'll blame you. We'll blame you.
yeah, yeah.
You're the
This,
one who has no time to do anything. You're the one who has no time.
I
Yeah.
know everything's come to a full halt. Working retail hours, man. That is a real pain.
Yeah.
Let
See,
me tell you.
most people at your point in life, they usually go away from the retail and go to something else. You kind of went the reverse way, but how you liking it though?
Oh, okay. At the end of the day, working for the dealership means that I get to ride bikes every single day, right? That's the best job ever, and you get to see lots of old friends and things like that and go on rides, and I think to me to be able to ride for the job is I think the best thing ever, right? Putting
Right.
aside the fact that you just get no rest very much and no time to do any videos and stuff. But hey, first world problems, first world problems.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and like you've been busy with that. Been busy with the kids and
Mhm.
everything here at the house. I think I haven't really recorded a new moto vlog in probably a month and a half. I was thankful to have enough backlog to where I could really take pretty much all of June and most of July now
Right.
off, and I can really just relax, refocus, enjoy the family with the in the summertime because it gets to a point where it's too hot to really ride anyway. Um,
Summer, summer, summertime.
yeah, summertime.
Yeah, that's how
We
old we
also
are.
got Travis, My Dumb Life here, Bolt Buckets here. Man, we got a lot of familiar faces gracing us here today.
Yeah, great to see you guys, and thank you for joining us. I guess today what we'll be doing is talking a little bit about motorcycles because I think um, it's been an interesting time for Harley Davidson. Not because I work for them, huh?
Correct.
With the launch of the Pan America and very soon the Custom 1250. And
Yeah.
if you don't know it, they've already kind of given a name to it, right? Even
Oh
though I'm
yeah.
not really supposed to say, it's already out on the internet. So it's called the Bare Knuckle. Interesting,
Bare
right?
knuckles.
No,
Yeah.
bare knuckles. We're not
Yeah.
knuckles to the wind, right? Something like that. What have you.
Yeah.
It's
I
okay.
saw. I saw right in the Ozarks, Mike. He had some insider information already on it that he
Not for
posted
me.
up there. Not from you.
No,
No,
not for
no, no,
this. No.
no. But no. Yeah. Oh, hey, Skill Steve, what's going on, buddy? But yeah,
Right.
I'm still very excited for that motorcycle.
Yeah.
I know you know how much I wanted the Bronx to become a
Mm,
reality. And
right.
when they killed the Bronx, at that point they already had this custom 1250 in their futures thing. It's like, well, that's
Right.
cool looking, kind of like a cafe scout type combo looking thing. And it's like, oh, that
Hmm.
looks cool. Well, then they killed the Bronx or whatever you want to call it, and
Hmm.
then I was like, okay, I'm gonna put all my cards on the table and hope that this little custom vehicle thing that they're trying to come out with actually comes out. And looks like I'll know some more information next week on it when they do their. Hopefully, it's a better live reveal than they had earlier this year. But hopefully, we get to know a little bit more about it.
No, I think with things being the way they are, I think chances are it's going to be almost the same as the Pan America pre-recorded stuff from
Yeah.
whoever it may be. But I mean, to me, the bare knuckle or what used to be the Bronx uh, is a good and interesting bike because it's going to be a cafe racer for sure.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
the engine is going to be exactly the same as the Pan America, right? And as you all know, it pumps out 150 horse. But again, as I was mentioning off in the green room with Brett, that at the end of the day, in order for you to get that horsepower, you need to be up to the 4,000s on the RPM, and brand new
Yeah.
bikes is not something that you would like to do. But otherwise, it should be a very smooth ride, and I think it's a great thing to do if for those people who love the Sportsters, right? I mean, they have their reasons. I mean, okay, the reason is very obvious because of Euro 4 and Euro 5. Sportsters have not changed. The Evolution engine, I think, has not changed since 1996,
Right.
right? So obviously, it's not going to be. I don't even think it's Euro 3, or maybe just barely Euro 3, right? And because of the of Europe and lots of parts of Asia are into Euro 4, including Singapore, right, where I'm
Right.
at. Uh, so they can't afford to, or they can't sell it anymore
Right. I
because of
mean,
that.
Black Phoenix brings up a good point. Harley's finally getting power to their bikes. Now,
Hmm.
that's very true. So, you guys know I own a 2012 V Rod, which um, I think they claim had 125 horsepower out of its 1250 Revolution motor as well, which from the research I've done, the Revolution that's in that is still completely different than the Revolution that's in the Pan America. They're
Mm.
similar, like I guess you could say like distant cousins, I guess.
Yeah.
But like you were saying though, in order to get to that power though, you're really having to really rev up the motor. I mean, most of the time, like when I'm actually like on it, I'm still short shifting at 7, and the same red line's at 9. I mean, that's enough. Now, Garen, I'm a cruiser guy. I don't go fast all that often. That's enough
Yeah.
to scare the Jesus out of me. I mean,
Yeah.
I
That's
don't.
true.
I just because you hear the whine, you hear it just wind up, and it just keeps going and it wants to keep going.
Hmm.
It's a completely different beast than anything Harley's ever done, and I'm sure the Pan America has a lot of the same characteristics to it, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping this custom does too,
Yeah.
because a high revving, low squatty that can hopefully corner. We don't know much about what's going to happen with it, but if
Hmm.
it can compete, and I think I might have said this way back when the Pan America was announced, I said that this could be the gateway to better things. This could be the gateway to compete against Ducati's Diavel.
Hmm.
It could be the replacement for a V Rod even. I mean,
Yeah.
since the FXDR it
Hmm.
FXDR is gone. I
FXDR.
mean, they
Yeah.
don't really have that muscle bike. I don't
Hmm.
know if it's going to be a muscle bike. I don't know. I'm very excited. I want to see what it is. So
But I mean, if you look at the pictures, and I think when you talk about performance bikes, when you look at the FXDR, you still have issues with lean angles, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to throw it down the corners and everything else, just like a sports bike or like the Diavel and so forth, right?
mhm,
The only problem with the FXDR is that on the right hand side with the exhaust, it's still pretty low slung, no matter
yep,
how much you put it up. Now, when you look at the pictures of the bare knuckle, right, it's slung way up, right. So the
mhm,
only
right,
thing that's going to be scraping will be your pegs, So I would think it's going to be more than a 36-degree angle, lean angle.
I mean, if you're even in the 30s with a Harley, you're doing good because
Exactly.
I don't think much in the Harley lineup to date, except for the Pan America, is above a 30. Most everything's like 27, 28.
That's right.
So, I mean, if you can lean over 33, 34, that's gonna feel. Now, I say they only go to 26 or 27. I rarely scrape peg. I am not an aggressive rider, but I would
Same.
like to know I can go further if I wanted to. So,
Exactly.
or had the
And
skill to, I guess you could say.
exactly. And the good thing with the engine is liquid cool, so you don't get the heat that you feel of the Sportsters and the rest. Although the Milwaukee 8 has done uh, a fair bit better than the twin cams. I mean, coming from a twin cam myself and now on a Milwaukee 8,
Yeah.
uh, I don't get that heat issue anymore. So they've really improved on that. And then, of course, if you're going to do high performance, you really need that liquid cool. I mean, the traditionalists will still not like it too much, but at
Yeah.
the end of the day, is look at the market they're going for. And I think all us old geezers, we'll be happy with our geezer glides and stuff, but the kids are not going to ride those bikes anymore.
Right.
In fact, what, I could tell from the dealership and the people that we have here, the guys between 22 to 32 are going for like the Lowrider S and the Fat Bob 114 simply because they both attune like a performance. They
Mhm.
have a more modern look, at least, especially the Fat Bob.
Right.
Although I know someone who's going to be saying lots of bad things about it if it comes on, right? But it's for the kids, man. I mean, they're into it, right? So if they don't get the Sportsters, that's the next best thing they're looking at that could compare to the bikes that they were riding when they're going for their motorcycle courses and all that. And they're used to seeing. And if you're a young guy, just like me as well, when I was that age, I had sports bikes. I didn't ride cruisers till I was about 40-ish, you know. So I think it's just the market, and I think it's a good idea that they went into that. I don't think they were openly going up against the Ducatis because I think the Ducatis are well established for the bikes that they have.
True.
But it's all about the market and getting
Right.
more people into the brand.
So I guess my kind of concern that I have from like a new rider perspective is,
Hmm.
and most people will start off something smaller. I'm not saying that we all do. I mean, I started on the
Hmm.
Dyna, which is
Hmm.
bigger, but a lot of people always start off on that 883 Sportster.
Right.
So my question is, you got this 1250 custom coming out, which is most likely going to replace the Sportsters.
Hmm.
Like, you don't want to give a new rider 150 horsepower, even if you got different modes on it. You don't want them to have that motorcycle. I wonder if they might come out with a detuned version or a lesser CC version of it as well, just to kind of have an entry line and then your other, or is there still going to be something that will replace the Sportster and this just isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right because I think it depends. I can only speak for Asia. I'm not sure about. I know you had a video out on the MSF and the safety courses and everything else, and I know that in the United States, so long as you go for the MSF, you get a motorcycle license,
Right.
and then you can just basically ride anything that you want.
Yeah, you can
In
ride a Busa for your first bike. Go for it. We don't
exactly
care.
right, exactly. But I think a lot of in Asia, okay, in specifically Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and a few other countries in Asia that I know of, we actually don't have a straight to unlimited. So we actually break it up into different classes. So when you take your equivalent to the MSF course, you get your license, you're only restricted to 200 cc's, and then after which, then after a year, then you sit for another course, and then you can only ride up to 400 cc's. Then you ride another year, and then finally pass the test that you could just go unlimited and go for the big one. So in effect, you will be 3 years on the road already riding, gearing up to that stage
Right.
before you can get to it. So I think it was a good idea I think, because otherwise in my time it was straight off into an unlimited license. And then, guy 21 years old and wanting to get the chicks, you get the fastest
Right.
and biggest and the sweetest ride you can get your hands on, so that you can stop at the traffic light and wink at the chick and then get her phone number if you're fast enough, and stuff like that, right? So I think it was a good idea that they do that, and you're probably right. um, I'm not sure if that is the way they're going to go, an underpowered or lower CC one. I mean, they went that way with the Street 750,
Mhm.
right? Because they were also introducing it to a certain Asian market, but that didn't really work out very well, anyway. And I think, probably what when they go for the MSF, I think the instructor should encourage them to get a lower one, get a pre-owned one, at a
Yeah.
250 or 300 cc's. Get used to it for a couple of years before you go for the big boys.
And
You
I
know,
would say if you're in the States here, really what I say the Sportster's going away, but there's so many Sportsters out there too. So, I mean,
yeah,
you got to think from the late 90s to now, at least 25, 30 years of evolution Sportsters are out there, which they're bulletproof. I mean, they
yeah,
are hard to screw up. Like, you have to
yep,
really not care about your motorcycle in order for a Sportster to die on you. So I think there's
that's
always going
true.
to be Sportsters out there for people to start with. And it may
Hmm.
be, I don't know, maybe Harley starts like this new, we'll buy your Sportster. I don't know what they're going to do with it. But, there's a lot of different things they could do to, like,
Hmm.
still get those lower CC bikes in, turn them and flip them and sell them type of thing. But they could be in the market of, hey, we're a premium brand. We're not meant
Hmm.
for new riders. We're meant for your skilled, already established people. Now, we will offer our training course, and you can still
Hmm.
come buy this motorcycle, but
Hmm.
we're not going to cater our motorcycles to the entry level because the 500 and the 750 were duds, at least stateside. They were just flops. So I don't know what the end game is going to be with them, but I think they just want to have. I think they want to be a big player with every single bike that they have now.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny that you say that, because as far as I know, they're actually doing a pre-owned program in which they do trade-ins. I don't know if they kicked that off, but this is for the states, though. I mean, they did mention to the other dealers or dealerships. It's something that you could look into to be able to turn around for new sales for those people who have older pre-owned, whatever it may be, to be
Right?
able to then trade them in and get a new Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
But I think the United States is working on something like that, where I think uh, I don't think they're even restricting the trade-ins to specific brands as well. But I think
Mm-mm.
primarily it's going to be like, if you own a Sportster, you want to upgrade, you trade it in, and we get you a new bike, and then they sell that pre-owned ones on the
Right.
lot. So if you're interested in getting an A83, you just go on to the dealership and get it.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, to me, I've owned two Sportsters, and my God, I've never had any problems. I've been sometimes, we forget ourselves sometimes, and me, I forget myself sometimes. And when I'm riding the A83 or 1,200 cc's, and then the big twins take off, and you just
Right.
want to keep up with them, right? So even though you push it, I think the worst thing that's ever happened was blowing a gasket, but that's normal for a Sportster
Sure.
anyway, right?
Yeah, we got Travis in our studio back here. Before we bring him in, I do want to bring up one other point. So you're talking about some programs and stuff. I'm
Hmm.
not sure if they're doing this over there in Singapore, but
Hmm.
both the V Rod and the Dyna have been in the shop recently for tire stuff. Basic
Right,
minor stuff.
right.
Um, every time I take the bikes in there now, they are
Hmm.
giving me basically a voucher saying, we'll pay you this much for your bike right now. Like, this is what it's worth to
Okay.
us. Here's
Hmm.
here's
Sure.
this voucher. It's worth $6,000. If you want to trade it in, go to the front. We can work it out. Like,
Mhm.
are they that desperate for used inventory? I don't know, but that's something that they are starting to do here in the States anyway.
I think that is a motor company driven. Hey, Travis, there's a motor company driven initiative, I believe, for them to do that, because ultimately their idea is that this way it gets to turn over new stock, and for those who are looking for pre-owned, get that inventory there anyway. So I believe that that's an initiative from the motor company that's
Never
looking.
tell a guy to do what he wants, because we will take that as green light, and I don't care. You said I could do what I wanted. That's what happened. And, that's probably led to many quarrels amongst married couples. But don't tell us it's fine unless it's really fine. Word of
Carte
advice.
blanche.
And don't ask how much afterwards.
Yeah.
Travis, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing fine. It's great to see you guys finally back together.
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
like a strange marriage almost at this point.
I know. It's like
who gets custody of the live stream? I don't know, but
he's finally got the kids on the weekend now.
Yeah.
So the kid, right?
Oh no! I got the kids every single night. No.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about this kid.
Oh,
this one. Yeah. This kid.
Travis, have we had a live stream since you had your new purchase?
I don't think so. I think the last time I was on the stream, I may have sort of teased it, the possibility of what I was looking at. I'll be honest. I was ready to kind of jump ship and jump onto a Honda. That was kind of the thought. I was looking at a lot of like VTX 1300s, 1800s. I actually had an 1800 that it was pretty much ready to pull the trigger, and I couldn't get a dealer to call me, at least, because they were like an hour and a half away. I couldn't get them on the phone, couldn't get an email. Like, I just, for whatever reason, they didn't want to communicate with me. So, and I literally had money in my pocket waiting to buy a bike. So
people, and I feel like this is a part of it. So you said you're like an hour and a half away. It's like, because I've emailed a few dealers as well for certain bikes that have been not within my normal distance to go check out a bike. For me, I can hop in the car and get there no problem. I don't mind doing that. But because I live in Kansas City, for example, and the bike's down in Oklahoma City, which is 5 hours away, they're like,
wow,
who are you? I mean, how serious can you really be? I was like, oh, one, I have a brother in Oklahoma City who could do the transaction for me. But it's like they don't even give you the time of day unless you're actually either local or actually at the dealership. That's what I've been finding out. So I don't know.
Yeah, in this case, I was even calling their phone number, and like all I got was their answering service, answering machine, basically.
Well,
and you should come to Singapore, and I'll get you sorted out.
But needless to say, it's real funny because basically the way the situation went is I called the guy that I actually bought the Sportster from,
right?
And my cousin is married to his daughter, so that's kind of how that whole thing started. And so I called him up. He's like, I don't. He said, but one of my MC buddies has a Dyna set, and I'm like, tell me more. So yeah, a lot of back and forth, and then I went and seen it, and I took Nash, the kid that went with me last year on the trip, and we ended up doing the deal, and I won't say it's been smooth sailing ever since, but it's I'm enjoying the bike. The wife's actually been riding quite a bit here lately on it, and she definitely enjoys it a lot more than the Sporty.
Sure.
I'm a bigger guy. She's a little bigger girl, and my balls were on the tank. That was pretty much what she.
Nice. Well, I do know the Dyna does have to be a step up in the comfort level for both of you for sure. So, like I know, like my wife's Sportster, I can probably go an hour-ish or so on that. Then the Dyna is like, I could probably go about an hour and a half on that, and then. And then, the V-Rod's probably close. I could probably go 2 hours on the V-Rod. It's that comfortable, but it's just amazing. You can just keep stepping. And it's like Fletch probably rides for like 10 hours straight. He has like an aircraft carrier plane that just comes in and puts the fuel in as he's flying there. So, And we got a legend in our presence.
Oh
in the site
yeah,
chat.
Stevie, what's up?
Not that we're not all legends. You're all legends, but he's the one who
Yeah.
kind of gave us our break. So
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
he's my.
He
the
gets
man.
all the big ones now on his channel and his live streams.
Noticed
I know.
Stevie's upped his game. He's got like the nice camera work. He's
doing
good.
it. He's doing it, man.
Yeah.
That's
I-
awesome.
Well,
So how are you liking that new bike?
Who?
Well, kind of both of you, because
Oh, okay. Well, we're really loving it. I mean, it's a Tourer, man. You can't go wrong on that. All right, the suspension alone is worth the money spending on it. Then you get the luggage. Yeah, sure, it's electric light, so you don't get the infotainment system and everything else. But I've gone ahead and got the stuff off Fathead Cycles, the Sony and the focal speakers. So that's coming in soon. So then I'm basically a street glide. Once I put that thing on, it's just a lower displacement, but it's the big difference between the Dyna and this is night and day, man. I mean, it's so awesome. But you get that huge fairing to take everything off you, and although I did change the windshield to the wind splitter, and I literally get zero turbulence even at
that's awesome.
140. So that's about 85 miles an hour. Right, no
That's-
issues.
Might as well just trade in for a car, dude. I mean, that's
I know.
people.
there's a reason they call it a geezer glide, right?
Yeah. There, anyways. When you're almost 60, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. So I mean, the V Rod on my end, it's not without its quirks. I was telling Fletch before we got started, I feel like it's pulling one way, but no one else feels it. So it's like all crazy Brett feeling going on here.
It could be a tire issue, because I noticed, I've noticed on a few bikes that for like my Sporty leaned, for some reason it liked to turn one side versus the other. Like it always felt like I was like I had a weight ballast on one side, even though
Right.
it wasn't. And that's it. Just I think it was just the way the tires were manufactured. They for whatever reason wanted to tug a little more on one angle versus another.
And I would go with that theory and many other theories, but 3 techs up at Harley rode it. My dad's ridden it. They all go straight down the road. Yet here I am feeling like I have to push on it. And maybe it's just like I'm more sensitive to like what my inputs are than they are, and they're just naturally riding and like, it's fine with us. I don't know. But I think I'm going to shed the exhaust off because it weighs about 45, 50 pounds, and see if that doesn't get me tracking a little bit straighter. But it's been a great bike. I mean, outside of that, I think I've probably put more miles on it than my Dyna lately. So
Well, I know a lot of your videos have had it.
I don't know how that happened. I think I just recorded a whole bunch on the V-Rod, and then I didn't record anything and had a couple left of the Dyna, and that's been about it. But not going to do a completely mind-blowing reveal here today, but there is bike number 4 in our garage. So let's just say it needs chain lube and chain grease. So we are not playing in Harley territory anymore. So, but
nothing wrong with that.
But we're working on how we're going to do the reveal and everything for that. It has its quirks as well. Got to get it in running order because we bought not necessarily old, but it's the oldest bike that we have. So we have to kind of get it into running shape. It's not a sports bike, Black Phoenix, but it's completely different than anything that I've ever ridden before, and I can't wait to share it soon with you guys. So, but yeah.
Looking forward to that, man.
Yeah, just gotta find time to do it all now.
Well, and that's what I ran into with. I had the Dyna, I think, almost 2 months before I really shot the reveal video. Because man, it's like I've been so busy at work. I've changed positions again. Vespa.
Yes, gotta be.
Nope. It's a Grom.
Oh yeah.
Grom Squad.
Ooh,
Oh, the
man,
monkey.
my frame on a Grom, that would be a very sexy attraction. So
I guarantee it would get views no matter what. If you were looking for the views, a Grom will get you views. I don't know why. It's hilarious.
should I do him shirtless too? Will that get him? Will that
Yeah,
get him?
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
the
yeah,
ladies,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. A wet T-shirt.
Skin tight
Oh,
T-shirt.
this is already a wet T-shirt. I can wring this out today. It's like 90 degrees in my garage here tonight. It's miserable. So
Yeah, that's been a problem here in Ohio. It's like it's either 90 plus degrees or it's raining. So
Yeah.
like the other day I went to do
Sounds-
my Ride Ohio series, and I went to this particular park. It's probably one of the nicest parks in close riding distance. And it was so hot and so miserable. I literally went down a set of stairs, went back up, and I was like, I'm going home. I'll shoot this another day. It was just too hot.
Man, it sounds like Singapore, man.
The humidity has been ridiculous.
Sure.
yeah, you're in the mid. You're in like Ohio-ish region, right?
I'm dead middle
Midwest.
Ohio.
Yeah. The whole like center of America has just been just terrible this year. It's if you don't ride before if you don't ride before 10 a.m., you're going to have a very miserable day if you're riding. So I mean, most of the time I'm out the door at 6:30. I'm back by 8:30, and yeah, that's me being the hardcore biker I am. But
Yeah.
you know, it's it is what it is. So. Oh yeah. This guy here. I wish it would get as hot as it get that hot here. I think on his last video he was saying I'm riding to work and it's in the mid 40s. I would love to have mid 40s right now.
Yeah, I would kill for 60s. Like
I would
mid
go for
60s is a good temperature for me. But yeah, here lately, like I said, it's one extreme or the other. It's
Whew, yeah, we had 70s the other day, but it was with rain, so
Yeah.
can't win.
Yeah,
That's
well,
the-
anyways, yeah, I know, but that's every day for me. 365, man. Right, that's the thing about Asia. I don't get the snow. I just get the heat, humidity, and rain. And every time we do a show, it bloody rains.
I couldn't do it, dude. I couldn't live where you live. I mean,
No,
it'd be nice to have the ability to ride every every day of the year, but when probably 3/4 or 2/3 of those days are filled with rain nonstop, it's like,
yeah, it's tough. I mean, yeah, yesterday I rode back in the rain. It was like, oh God, you know, I'm gonna get a
I
wash.
did get caught in the rain a couple times so far this summer, and it's been on some pretty humid and wet days, and it's
Mhm.
actually been a very welcome relief when that rain hits. I mean, granted, your clothes are all stuck to you and everything, but it cools you off like 30 degrees when you get that fresh rain on you. Then you're going like 60 into it. It's like,
yeah, except when in my case, the day that I got caught in the rain, you know, I was, you know, I had a helmet on, but beyond that, it was just t-shirt, jeans, and it's like
ooh,
it was like pins and needles going down the road at 50 miles an hour, and I'm like, the one time not wearing a riding jacket.
yep.
Exactly.
It's always
think
the day
I'm-
that you don't wear your gear that you regret it. So
Yeah. And on the topic of helmets and stuff, as we all know, Brett's got like I think an entire wardrobe full of helmets, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting to be. That's going to be an intervention very soon, I think. You know,
Yeah, actually, I'm on vacation next week, Brett. So I may call you because I may be coming to your way sometime in the next 10 days.
Oh yeah, you come pick up that Batwing fairing.
I really want that Batwing fairing.
The newest
Shoot.
motovlog helmet, the GTR 2. Just so you guys know, there's going to be new stuff like that coming later.
How are those helmets as far like mine has the pockets for like the speakers for your center and whatnot, but they're really not in the right place. Do you have that problem with some of these helmets?
Not with my Shoeies, I haven't. They're right at my ear from what I've noticed. And what I like about that one and the RFSR is the pocket is recessed deep enough to where I don't even feel it when I put them on. Because I know when I've put them on in my Bitwell helmets, for example, they have recessed pockets, but they're not very recessed. And so you put it on and your ears get pinched down as you're trying to get it on. So
I'm having a little bit of that problem, but I also put some furniture pads. And they're almost perfect with Velcro because I really needed to push them out to get closer to my ear so I could really hear. It's actually been amazing because last year I had those Amazon $50 Bluetooths, and they sounded like garbage. Like I was never loud enough, and now I know why. They weren't close enough to my ear. I did this because I put that one in my wife's helmet when I upgraded to my Sena S20 Evo, and it's great. We're talking back and forth. It makes it a lot better when we're riding to be able to communicate with each other.
But I thought that the Senas come with those cushions anyway.
They come with a smaller version of it. I have a set of these plus those plus the smaller version of those.
Right.
Okay. And really, it's helmet dependent too. So, for example, my dad had this thing from. It was a Bell helmet of some sort. It had the Harley Davidson logos on it, but it had like the built-in SMH 10 spot, so he could take the little cap off. He put it right in there. It was supposed to be kind of like their streamlined thing. Well, every time that we rode together, he had the worst time hearing me, and I wonder if it wasn't because it was closer, because he's taken that exact same unit. He didn't buy a new unit. Exact same one. He's put it on his HJC modular. And now we have crystal clear conversations all day long. So I wonder if the conversation we were having was fine. He just didn't have it close enough to his ears that he could actually hear me. Because I think I come in at a very weird frequency that most people ignore. So
no, I think what it is that there are a lot of helmets out there that work together with Sena, just like the Shoeis and everything else. And the problem is that when they work with Sena, and they have a specific type of setup, right? To be able to go into the helmet that you don't see anything sticking out and everything else. They choose the cheapest and the lowest end model of Sena, right? So you when you look at the specs, it's like you can only connect up to like 3 or 4 riders. Obviously the output of it's not going to be as good and so forth. But that being said, at least with the Shoeis, they still have all the little pockets and the little grooves and everything else. You can stick all the wires in, and it actually it really sits where your ear canals are supposed to be located, right? That you could actually hear it. I just bought myself an RI RX7, and I stuck the Sena in. I'm using the 10C Evo because that has a camera as well. And the good thing is that within the cheek pads, they literally have a recess that you can put it in, and it's really very snug and very comfortable. You don't even feel it's there, and it's right where it's supposed to be. That if I want to listen to my music, because there are times where I have to ride the company bike to a particular place, and there's no goddamn music, right? So I have to listen to it to the Bluetooth, right? Whereas on my current ride, I have it on speakers, so I don't have to worry about it so much. Anyway, but at least most of the big brands, I believe, have it fitted well. Then you got the Rurocs, right, which come with their own version of it, so it should be okay. I don't know. No.
Yeah, Ruroc seems to be the butt of many jokes.
So I don't want to completely bash them, but they're not on my good list. Let's put it that way. Okay. Talking about their Bluetooth thing that they have, I mean, it's good for rider to pillion rider. So, like, if you had a guy next to you was the Ruroc, you won't be able to communicate with your $150 Shockwave that's in there. But, okay. And then I think on like a lot of the new 3.0s and stuff, they're finding it hard to put an external Sena and stuff on there because there's not really a good spot for it to go. Yeah. The reason I have a little beef with them is just the way that they were fulfilling orders on this last release, because my helmet wasn't a popular seller, they
Okay.
had it stuck in the back of the warehouse. So I had a helmet for myself and a helmet for my wife. And because my helmet wasn't a popular seller, they wanted to get as many orders out as they could, but they didn't even think about a first in, first out, or reorganize on a daily basis to get the next day's orders ready to go.
Right.
No, it was just delayed, and they didn't ship my wife's, who had a popular helmet and a size that was shipping readily. They could have at least shipped that, and I would have at least bought some goodwill.
Right.
So canceled my order, and that's what allowed us to buy that fourth motorcycle, was canceling that. But it was supposed to have been a Mother's Day present for my wife. The helmet was, but I think she's happier with what's in the garage now. I just have to find her. I think we're on the right track for like an HJC modular helmet, kind of mid range. Her Shoei's just falling apart. It's old, so eventually they do break down, unfortunately. So
I love my modular helmet. Being able to flip it all the way up, and even with all the moto vlog gear on it, it makes it so much nice to be able to do that when you need to.
Right.
I mean, I don't think I'll ever go back to a non.
I would love to have one like in the Neotech 2, just because both of us here, we deal with the swamp basically. It's just, and it is. I mean, you're sitting at a stoplight, and it's like there's only so much air that can come in through a visor, but if you can get that whole face going, yeah, it's so much better.
I mean, that's the reason why I got a Neotech 2 as well before. But of course, I've used it for now nigh on 4 years, and as with wear and tear and flipping up and down, it just goes after a while. Anyway, they don't recommend that you keep a helmet for more than 4 years anyway, because things start to deteriorate in the inner lining and everything else. So,
So the RF 1400, I haven't read enough about it, especially from a motor vlogger's perspective, but
Rolling.
Hey, how you going, guys?
Hey, Rolly. How's it going, man?
Not bad. I haven't seen you for ages, Fletch.
I know. Busy keeping my head down and doing stuff at the dealership, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Hey, Roland, how you doing, man?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Doing good. It's wintertime down there, isn't it?
It is, and it sucks. Yeah.
I can tell you all wrapped up in stuff, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's cold and generally wet, and I'm a wimp when it's cold and wet, so, yeah.
And here we are in our skin-tight T-shirts because we're sweating to death in here, and he's all bundled up in his hoodie.
I know, but it's only a couple of months' time, guys, and it'll all switcheroo.
It all reverses, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Roland, it seems like just yesterday you were posting your M109R video with your drone, and it's like a preview of the year, and then it's like wintertime. It's like,
that's it.
Where did the time go?
Yeah. I know. It sucks, but I'll have to get the cameras out and everything else and get back into it. So yeah.
I did enjoy those boat videos, actually. I mean, I put them up on my TV when I was watching them. I was like, now this is relaxing. Like, I could just like fall asleep to it. It wasn't boring. It was so peaceful. I was like,
yeah. Oh, it's beautiful out that way. Yeah, it is beautiful out that way, though. It's really good. So it was 15 days of no communication or anything.
Oh, really? You were just out there, huh?
Yeah, right out there. Yeah. We had no phones, no internet service, no nothing.
That's the best, right?
It was like 1990 all over again, right?
What's that internet?
The 1970s, maybe.
Whip out the map and
pretty much like that. We even had trouble getting a damn GPS signal.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good.
Yeah, it's good to go caveman once in a while,
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Just take a chair, dig a hole in it, and there's your toilet done. Make a fire, boil up some snags, and away you go.
Yeah, kill a kangaroo or something.
Actually, we only saw 2 babies the whole time.
Right. I know. No, don't kill the baby. No.
God only knows where the wildlife's gone, but we saw nothing.
All the wildfires.
I don't know. It was just nothing around. It was really odd. I was expecting to see snakes and you name it, and we only come across 2 baby kangaroos, and that was it.
Was that the sign of the apocalypse?
Must be. It might be coronavirus. Who knows?
It could be a zombie. If you come across a zombie, let me know.
Actually, I'll send you a message later about that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's this woman I know. No, I won't go there.
That one time at a certain bar.
Oh yeah.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I do have to have one bitch about Senna though.
Right.
So, I obviously with the wife doing the thing, I want to do the 2-Up moto vlog. So, one of the options is that Senna makes the replacement speakers with a regular 3.5 jack, so you can plug it into the output, and then which I'm going to split it, and one go to my recorder, one go to the headset. So it was $25 for the speakers, no big deal. They charged me $20 to ship it, and they're slow shipping it.
Oh my god!
It was $19.95 or $96 to ship slowly from California.
Did you buy them from like Revzilla?
You can only get them through their website.
Really?
It's basically it's like one of their old model speakers.
Oh,
gotcha. But like I said, it's specific because it's got the 3.5-inch jack. I will also say that moving up to the Zoom recorder, as far as the audio quality has really, really improved.
Oh, those Zoom units are brilliant. Yeah, I've got one. They're really, really good.
Well, and the thing is, like, I've been using the media mod, and so the first one I had got wet on the trip that I took the Blue Ridge Parkway, and it was my fault, it got wet. So I bought another one. So I bought that one in August. So I used it for maybe a month and a half. Went through the winter, was I played with it, but it never gave me any issue. And then here, it's about 3 months ago now, started not working. So I RMA'd it. They sent me one. About a month later, this one has quit working. So I'm done. I'm done spending the money and the time to.
How many episodes have we all lost due to that media mod? I know I've lost some. Fletch, I think I've lost a couple.
I've got 4 or 5 at least.
Yep.
0. Never used it. Never used it.
The thing is, like, if they would make a proper version of this without the microphone that we could use that's waterproof, that would be the ideal connection, because it gives you those connections that we need as a motovlogger.
You see, that's the thing, and one of the reasons why I'm practically off, if it weren't for like a talking head thing, walking or something, I'll use the GoPro. Right now, if you notice, I'm using the Insta360. It's either the 1R or the X2, because I got both. And thanks to Brett's dad, right, got me introduced to the Insta mic. So it's the only one that you can connect to. And literally just mount the mic with no wires and everything else, and suddenly you're connected and you can do your vlogs and all that. Albeit the last one I did I was stupid. I did a firmware update and I didn't reset the volume on it. That's why the thing screwed up. But once you get the settings right and you follow What's Up Bob's instructions, it's perfect. And then of course with the 360 camera, you can just decide which view you want, or just simply get you tracked, and then you're just tracked throughout the whole thing. You don't have to do anything, and you're good, right? And the funny thing is that for whatever reason, and I did talk to the guy who produced the Instamic Pro, which this guy's really good, the president or the CEO or the owner of it. It's very responsive, and he actually said he actually reached out to GoPro, and for whatever reason, they just don't seem to want to work with him to get it working. Right? Because if he can get that mic wirelessly working, then you don't have to worry about disconnection and being waterproof and what have you. Your GoPro just sits as it is. It's already waterproof, and you're already connected to a Bluetooth. It's done, right? Which is strange.
Someone said it in the side there. It's a money grab. is what it is.
And that's why the USB-C adapter, they made it specifically that if it doesn't recognize their chip, you can't use the aftermarket adapters.
And you're not waterproof anyway.
Yeah, and you're not waterproof. You're right.
So then you fuck up a $500 bloody camera, because you just wanted to do a motor vlog. God damn it!
Yeah. Well, I will say the other thing is I've been using this Ulanzi, which if you're a motovlogger, you're probably familiar with their doors or whatever. I have several of those.
Is that the motorized one?
It's not. No, this isn't the motorized one, but it's a tripod, but it's got it's a battery bank, so I can plug directly into the GoPro and use it for point and shoot stuff.
That's cool.
That trust me, that is a handy tool, and obviously it's not real big. You can screw it onto a tripod if you can screw it onto a tripod.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, this is a very handy, and I think it was only like $25 US, so it's not expensive.
I feel like Moto Bike Mike, formerly known as Midlife with a Bike, did a review on it. I'm pretty sure, and when he told me it had a memory bank built into it, that's just genius.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the battery bank makes it so much nicer when you're motovlogging, or when you're doing the actual vlog stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to get one that's motorized. Yeah, it spins around and pans around and does all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the gimbal. Cool. I mean, technically, if you wanted to get a gimbal, you could. This does, it does have the quarter 20 on the end of it. You could screw this into a regular, gimbal or whatever, and it just, obviously you'd have to have kind of a long cord because this thing's fully assembled. It's 12, 14 inches long.
Yep.
So
that's cool.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. And silence. Ooh.
Oh well, I'm typing out here.
That's how you kill a stream right there. You talk about 14 inches, and it's just like, well.
Right.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, when you're waving a big shaft around like that, that's it. Yeah.
Great American Challenge.
Get that out of the camera. This is a show for kids. Come on, 14 inches. No, don't show it to me. Yay.
What are you talking about, Fletch?
Listen, it's not human if it's 14 inches, man.
It's a good thing we don't have Paul.
Oh God!
Stream.
Yeah, no, listen. I should message him, man. Let's only get your.
I haven't talked to him in a while. Like, I mean, I see post on Facebook quite a bit, but I haven't. I haven't seen much out from him actually.
I didn't know they were doing that, but that just means more yuppie people are going to die. With
that. 75 miles an hour moped? No, come on.
That's cruising. That's cruising.
That's wrong on all levels, man.
That's speedwobble.com.
Oh, speaking of
Any of you guys encountered that? Have you got any of you guys encountered any speed wobble?
No, thank God.
Once on the Dyna, and I think it wasn't like the death wobble that you see on the videos. It had its little shakiness, and I just rode through it. But if I actually got the death wobble going 65, 70, I would probably stop riding. It'd probably freak me out.
Oh yeah.
I think the plan for me on my Dyna next year is to, at the very least, I'm probably going to go put new motor mounts in it just for good measure. As much as I really don't want to spend the $300, I may get one of those stabilizers for the rear.
Or a steering damper, right?
Yeah.
Those things I hear do really good wonders for the Dynas. But
I'd say that's my only real complaint right now on the Dyna is I feel like I want to upgrade the suspension.
If you got suspension, that's got to go. It's got to be the first thing you do outside of the seat.
That's money well spent, I tell you.
Yeah, I've got a set of air shocks. I was going to do the same thing to it as I did the Sporty. I've got to get them serviced and put on and try those out. So I do have some option for the rear, but the front, like I was even looking at the possibility of the progressive cartridge one.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody, like, they're out of stock. Nobody's got it. In fact, how's parts been for you guys? Because I've had a horrible time with parts.
Sorry, guys. I just saw Outback's question.
You're ready to go fast enough to get wobbled. If you're going downhill with the
Outback. Let's say they do. As
far as parts for me, I haven't really bought too much this year, so I guess I can't really comment too much on that. I don't think I bought anything for my Dyna this year that required me to have a long wait. Maybe like dealer parts or other parts.
You know, I've had a little bit of both. Now, as far as dealer, like, I needed a new seal and cap for the front master cylinder. It took 5 weeks to get one.
And you're in the States.
And I'm in yeah, exactly. And it's like the most common part. I mean, it's made for so many years. How many of those?
You know what it is? If you were to take your bike in for service there, they would have the part ready to go for you. It's just like my front rocker when it was leaking oil. It's like, I guarantee the part that I would need would be on back order, but we got some in our shop to replace it with. So I wonder if, like, the parts department isn't maybe hoarding some parts just because, you know, if there is a shortage, but then you have to pay $150 an hour labor charge.
Yeah. No, but I tell you from a dealer perspective, right? Basically, every dealership would always have the essentials in stock, for sure, right? If they don't have it, then it'll be at the HQ or what have you, and at the very most, it will take a week or so to get it, because these are your bare essentials. But if you're talking about the bling, right, and your accessories, now it depends on whether it is an accessory like foot peg and handle and grips and stuff like that. They would still have stock. You probably maybe have to wait 2 weeks for it. Now, if you're talking about the rest of the stuff that's not a regular thing that you would normally need and put on as an essential, even if you consider it as an accessory, now that one really takes a long time.
Well, it was real funny because I was, you know, the Harley Davidson screw caps, the thumb ones you use for your seat. Yeah. It was about 3 weeks they were out of those. Like the most weirdly common things.
Online or at the dealership?
At the dealership.
Oh, that is very strange. The parts and accessories manager that I work with, he literally has a huge box there. He just lifts it up and says, "Go look, 50 cents or whatever it costs," and it just gives it to you.
Yeah,
and that's it, because those are essentials, right? Oh, $20. I can't remember.
$20.
Yeah. $20 for a screw. Holy shit! Yeah, okay, I didn't know that.
Speaking of,
geez, Travis, you might be better off getting all your stuff through from Fletch. Might come through quicker, you know.
I don't think we ship, you know. So at the end of the day, but I mean, to me, these are considered essential because the fun. It's a known fact, right, that even if you have the screw for the seat, especially if you have a 2-up seat or an additional pillion seat, the damn thing vibrates, especially if you're a twin cam, and it's definitely going to come off or rust or whatever. So we definitely know people, there's going to be a demand for it. So it's smart enough to have stuff like that, you know, because I would consider that still an essential. So for the most part, we would have that. But if you're talking about the odd sissy bar or the odd, you know, you decide to change off your derby cover, that thing will take a longer time to get to you because that's not an essential part, and normally they don't keep that much stock on it anyway. So I'm not surprised if it takes 5 weeks or more.
So my buddy has a 2014-ish breakout, and we put shorty levers on there the other day. Well, when we put one of the levers on, you know, those retaining clips, like itty bitty ones. Well, bent one, and you know, basically the retaining clip fell on the way home because we thought we got it back in, but it wasn't seated perfectly, so it was gone. Right. So he went to the Harley dealership here. He's like, "Well, I know these things could fly away when we put them on," so he bought 3 of them. Okay. He broke one flew away, and he finally got the 3rd one on. So he was glad he bought 3. But here's the kicker: these things are itty bitty. Like smaller than your keys on your keyboard, small. $6 per pop. So $18 and $12 of it is in his yard somewhere.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I dropped my mouse.
I need to be loved by the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, handlebars is another thing that I've had a hard time finding. Like everybody's out of stock of mini apes.
Oh, as I say, you need handlebars. I got handlebars. I got stock handlebars. I got orange handlebars. I got Lowrider S handlebars. You come down here, you get that Batwing out of my garage, you can have some handlebars. So
you're selling me on it, Brett.
Dude,
yeah, but I'm surprised.
A garage full of stuff for you.
You must do a video on all those handlebars there, Brett.
What's that?
You'll have to do a video on all those handlebars.
Oh no, those aren't as entertaining as all my helmets and other things.
Do a garage sale.
I don't know. I can see you
need to have a garage
holding
sale.
different handlebars, pretending like you're on a Harley, making Harley sounds.
I thought about mounting them above. If you go to like Biker bars, they have like the handlebars mounted above the toilet. So I guess if you're drunk or you're never mind, it's the other thing that you might be doing, but you're something to hold on to there above the toilet. So
Fair enough.
I never said we were a classy area here in Kansas City.
You've tarnished my impression now.
Yeah. Oh, you thought I was a good boy, Roland?
Absolutely.
I think just before we got on, Brett and I were talking about a few things and how it's an interesting time for Harley Davidson. You have the Pan America, which just launched, and hundreds of YouTube videos out there, people riding it and saying how wonderful it is. And then next week we have the new bike, right? The Custom 1250, the Bare Knuckle.
Yeah, man, I'm really.
I saw them eyebrows.
Even if it's a canned response, because I know it's going to be pre-recorded, which is fine. I've accepted pre-recording things going forward, just the way the world is. I'm so excited for it. As long as it's what I'm thinking it's going to be. Now, I could be setting myself up for some major disappointment. But if it's, essentially the 1250 Revolution from the Pan America, if they don't detune it, and if they keep the bike looking very similar to what the concept pictures are,
I don't think it's going to change.
I know. I'm asking for a lot here, Travis. I know. And if it's in the $14,000 to $15,000 range, and why not, let's go ahead and throw in free tires for life and free oil changes for life. I might consider buying one. But I am actually, though, all that aside, I am actually really excited to see what this is going to be all about, though.
Are you disappointed that at least as far as it's all said and done, that they're not probably going to call this the Sportster? Do you think that they may have missed a mark with that, or
if we could only rewind to what I just said? That's why I raised my eyebrows.
Right.
I caught it.
Yeah. So you just put it in the side chat if you want to. I'm not going to repeat myself, otherwise I'm going to get into shit with the motorcar. Obviously, I know a hell of a lot more. I cannot, because of NDA, say too much. I can only tell you what is obvious, which has been advertised. So you know that it's a 1250. It's going to be the Revolution Max engine of the Pan America. So already, for those of you who've ridden the Pan America, what to expect, right? From
is
looking
that the
at
exact
pictures,
same engine?
Exactly the same engine, right? It's liquid cooled, 150 horsepower. Already, it can move, right? Then the other thing would be that if you look at the pictures, you got a high slung exhaust, so that means better lean angle, right? That based upon the Pan America, that the engine is actually, they built the frame around the engine to reduce weight, so it's going to be a light motorcycle. Or at least it's not going to be. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Light for because I'm not sure. I only remember in terms of metric, right? So your standard, even the smallest, the Softail standard is probably about around 280 kilograms. I don't know what that is in pounds. This should be coming in a little bit lighter, right? Because getting on the Pan America and riding it, it feels way lighter than the Softail standard. So that should be about the range that you're talking about, anyway, right?
So
And
you're saying that they built the frame around it, which is very V-Rod-ish from what I gathered
Yeah.
too. They did kind of the same thing with that. So I'm looking at the V-Rod right now, and I'm wondering, it's going to probably have to have it for service purposes for valves and whatnot.
Mhm. Yeah.
On the frame itself, the frame's going to actually be like a two-piece frame. Like they're going to have to be able to lift the top of the frame up and off in order to probably service the motor if it's truly built around it, right?
Okay, okay. Since the Pan America is out, I can actually talk about it. So I'm not going to talk about
we're
thing, right?
only talking about Pan America.
Right. So the Pan America, you don't have to lift the frame at all. You actually have total access to all the bits that you need to get to do the oil change, the change the filters, and everything else. Yeah, you don't have to take anything off. It's actually everything's accessible. Anyway, the only thing that in the Pan America to get to certain bits is that you probably have to take the skid plate off.
Okay,
right, to be able to get to the thing. So that's not too bad. I don't remember seeing in the picture a skid plate for the new BN, right? So it should be okay. The next thing I didn't really check, and I forgot to ask, was that the Pan America, as you know, is chain driven. I don't know if this is chain driven as well.
I assure you that the chain stuff back there is not for the new motorcycle. I guarantee it's not for a Harley Davidson. So,
yeah.
But if it is chain driven, that would be like one of the first factory chain driven from Harley, won't it?
No, the Pan America is chain driven.
I said one of the first.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. It'll be the first cruiser, right? Because it'll still be a cruiser, right? In a sense, right? So it's. I would think it would be good to have it as a chain anyway. The reason why the Pan America has a chain is because, number one, putting a belt on it, and because of all the torque and everything else, you're going to wear it out far faster, because the guarantee on all the Harley Davidsons is that that belt lasts for 100,000 kilometers. I don't know what it is in miles, but it's 100,000 kilometers, right? So if they're going to keep to that claim, then because of the rear wheel torque, it's not going to do that. So and last but not least, if it's going to go off road, it's better to be able to maintain a chain than it is to be able to maintain a belt, right? Not that I'm saying that the new guy is going to be also off road, but I would think that for performance wise, and again with the kind of rear wheel torque you're talking about, it should be a chain. I don't think that they would have a belt on it.
I will say the Pan America, I got a chance to see it up close, and I feel like that bike looks better up close in real life than it did in pictures.
That's what everybody says. Yep. That's what everybody says, and I totally agree. And especially when you ride it, it's completely different. Yeah, it doesn't look like a bumblebee,
and it doesn't look like. It looks bigger, like physically looks bigger in pictures than it did in real life to me.
That's right. Yeah. I think it's the photographer.
Yeah, I don't know what they did as far as video. It does. It in the video, it looks like a much bigger, but I've seen them on the racks, and I won't say why, but you guys sort of know, and I'll explain that one to you guys personally later. How that whole thing went through. But yeah, the way it sits on the bike, it really. Maybe a little bit big, a little bit longer than the Sportster. It's really not. It's not that much bigger. You know what I mean? I'd say it's between a Sportster and a Softail.
The Pan America?
Yeah, to me, it's like it's not. The the width or the length of the bike is not as big as it looks on video.
It is longer than the Softail standard. It's probably as long as the Fat Boy. It's closer in length. Yeah, it's closer in length, but obviously it's higher as well. Right, but yeah, it is still a pretty large bike, surprisingly, but not as large as it looks like on the pictures and videos, because for whatever reason they got a smaller guy to ride it or what, I don't know.
Did you get any of the Revival bikes?
No, you've only got 1,500 across the world, right? And we had no allotment.
Wow,
sadly.
Yeah, that's surprising that you guys didn't at least get one.
We were hoping to get one, and we had heaps of people asking for it. I got a guy that just wanted to just literally, send a picture of us with his cash and said, "Look, he wants to buy it right now," and just didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, strangely enough, it's another one I got to see up close before they hit the showrooms, and I'm not saying it's a bad looking bike, but to me, it's not worth the $10,000 more over sticker of what
that's what they're doing right now.
What the similar version of it would be.
So 40 out the door, or not even out the door, 40 plus out the door stuff.
Wow. Yeah, so I mean, they're going for pretty good money, and it's just, to me, it's a trophy bike. It's I figure one of two people is going to buy it. It's going to be that old guy that either had one or still has one that looks just like it, and wants the new one so he can ride it and have that feeling without breaking down every 2 seconds. Or it's that guy that's got the money that wants it to sit in the corner of his garage or in the corner of his apartment, because he's still single, and wants to show it off to his friends. Like, I don't ever expect a Revival bike to go into a dealer. And I had this conversation with somebody at one of the managers at the dealers, and he says, like, yeah, there's nobody that's going to take that bike and ride it across the country and put 10,000 miles a year on it.
Nope.
No,
they're going to be a low mileage garage cleanings. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the guy that was offering that to buy it straight away, cash, right, sight unseen, was literally going to say that he's literally going to just keep it at home, maybe ride it around the town and the hog event or something, and just show it off. But other than that, he's just going to keep it pristine in his garage. And he literally has a garage. That's how rich he is in Singapore, if you have a fucking garage, right?
I will say, too, that Harley really needs to take that paint code and just paint a bike with that color. The blue is beautiful blue.
That blue... So, if you watch the Ride Like a Pro, the Jerry Padamillo guy, so I don't know how much of it was staged, but he bought himself a Revival. Well, then they delivered one saying, "This is yours for the test ride, but you can't put more than 5 miles on it." His wife says, "Honey, you do whatever you want. You put as many miles on it as you want." He's like, "Well, I can't. They told me 5." He's like, "Well, that bike's yours." So essentially, they ended up with 2 Revivals in their stable. But that blue is the exact same blue that was already on one of his other Street Glide, Road Glides, or whatever. So they've used that blue before. They just haven't two-toned it with the white. Because, I mean, it's spitting image. While we're chatting here, I'll see if I can't find it, actually.
Yeah, I haven't personally ever seen that blue. That blue, it's another one of those colors that does not show properly in video or pictures. It's got like a pearl metallic in it, and it absolutely just pops when you look at it. Normally, I'm kind of that old school. I like the old kind of that 50s style colors. But for some reason, that one just with the white, with kind of like an off-white, just didn't vibe with me for some reason.
I mean, to me, they styled it after Elvis's bike. I mean, Elvis bought the Electric Glide, right? And that's basically it. The only difference was I thought they should have copied it down to even the big bucket seat, because right now it's a solo bucket seat. They should have got the huge one, because in those days, that was the 2-up seat, right? If you remember, he's with him and his wife behind him. And I thought it looked weird with a solo rider, but with 2-up, it really looks interesting, right? And I thought they should have gone that far. But I think they probably thought that it's going to be super uncomfortable after a while.
I also think it should have been a standard. Like it should have not had the infotainment. That was my other kind of for it.
Exactly, because in the old days you didn't have that,
You
right?
wouldn't have had all that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I said, especially a bike that we all know nobody's going to put a ton of miles on. You're not going to road trip it.
Exactly. So I think
there we go. So the one on the left's the Revival, and then the one on the right's the exact same bike. It's already painted that blue.
Okay, I have seen that blue. It is close, but
is it close?
The pearl is different in it.
Ooh,
like I said, you can't see it in photos and video. The pearl in it really pops, and it's one of those colors that you can't picture it. It can't be recorded. You only can see it.
Just like the snake venom. Yeah, I know. I get it.
I think the snake venom color looks great. Like I love that color, but it's a color you can't. It does not show on picture and video.
Nope.
Well, it really is in winter. Look at that.
Winter wonderland down there in Australia.
Hey, put up the Christmas tree, mate.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'll have to.
Oh my God.
Well, guys, it is about 10:15 my time, and I do actually have to work tomorrow, unfortunately.
And I'm actually at work.
Yeah, Fletch is actually at work. He was nice enough to
bust your ass, Fletch. Jeez.
Yeah. But I wanted to say, first off, thanks to Travis and Roland. Thank you guys for coming on. Everyone in the side chat, I've seen some names, some really popular names, and I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to address everyone over there. We were just kind of going. But thank you for everyone who came out. Fletch, we have to get this done a little bit more often than doing it every 3 or 4 months. Just ain't working for us.
I know. I'm going to have to try and work out my schedule and see if I can do this again.
Exactly, and we'll have maybe a little bit more of actual flow to it. But no, this was very good. I thought really good conversations, and again, I appreciate everyone who's come to my channel, goes to Fletch's channel, everyone's channel. That's what this community is all about is that support. So I just want to say thank you for that, and stay tuned because there's going to be some giveaways at some point too. Not to plug my own channel here,
baby.
But no, seriously, guys, take care. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one. See you guys.
Take care, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Ride safe. Catch you.